The crystal city of Velinara floated among the purple clouds of Kepler-4 for to be like a beautiful dream. Its towers stretched upward for miles, glowing with soft blue light that came from living energy cores deep inside. Zephyrians had built this place over 10,000 years ago, and it had been peaceful ever since. Commander Veltar stood on the highest platform of the defense center, his tall, thin body shimmering in the light. His skin was clear like glass, and the nerves underneath glowed green when he felt worried. Right now, there were very bright green dot through the viewing wall. He could see the horror that was coming toward his world. Black shapes moved between. The gas giants' moons like a spreading disease. They were not ships or creatures. They were machines, and they ate everything in their path. The Devourers had found them. "How long do we have?" Veltar asked his science officer, Lenara. Her own skin was flashing yellow with fear. "The forward machines will reach our outer defenses in 6 hours," she said. Her voice shook. "The main swarm will be here in 2 days." Veltar closed his 3 eyes and tried to think. The Zephyrians were a peaceful people. They had never fought a war because they had never needed to. Their weapons were old and weak, designed only to destroy small asteroids that might hit their cities. The Devourers were different. They had destroyed 100 worlds already. Each planet they consumed made them stronger. They turned rock and metal and living things into more of themselves. No one in the galaxy had ever stopped them. "Send the evacuation order to all cities," Veltar said. "Tell our people to take only what they need and head for the deep space stations." Sir Lenara said quietly. "The deep space stations won't. Be safe. The Devourers will find them too." Veltar knew she was right. The machines didn't just destroy planets. They hunted down every piece of a species until nothing was left. The Zephyrians had nowhere to run. "Then we make our stand here," he said. "Prepare all defense ships for battle and send a distress call to every world in the galaxy. Maybe someone will help us." Lenara's fingers moved quickly over her control panel. The message went out on all frequencies, traveling faster than light to every corner of known space. It told the story of a peaceful people facing their end. It begged for help from anyone who might listen. The response came quickly from the major powers. The Altarian Engineering Guild sent polite regrets. They said the Devourers were a force of nature, like a black hole or a supernova. You couldn't fight them. You could only run. The Centauri Collective was more direct. Their military commander sent a short message saying his fleets would not be wasted on a hopeless battle. Better to save their strength for when the Devourers came to their worlds. Even the ancient Andromedans, who had lived for millions of years and seen everything, could offer no help. Their message was longer and kinder, but it meant the same thing. The Zephyrians would have to face their fate alone. As the hours passed, Veltar watched his world prepare to die. Floating cities dimmed their lights to save power. Families said goodbye to each other through video calls. The defense fleet, all 12 ships, moved into formation around the planet. It would not be enough. The Zephyrian ships were small and their weapons were weak. The Devourers had thousands of machines, each one larger than a city. When the battle came, it would be over quickly. Far away, at the edge of the solar system, Lieutenant Jake Morrison sat in the small monitoring station on Pluto. His job was boring most of the time. He watched for signals from deep space and made reports that few people read. Today was different. His computers picked up the Zephyrian distress call at 14:30 Earth time. The signal was strange, using frequencies that human equipment barely recognized. The translation program worked slowly, changing the alien words into English. When Jake read the message, he sat up straight in his chair. Someone out there was asking for help. Someone was about to die if no one came to save them. The message told about the Devourers and what they did to worlds. It described the peaceful Zephyrians and their beautiful floating cities. It begged anyone who received the message to send help, or at least to remember that they had existed. Jake had never heard of the Zephyrians or the Devourers. His star charts didn't show the Kepler 442 system. According to everything he knew, humans were alone in the universe. But here was proof that they were not alone. There were other people out there, and they were in trouble. He forwarded the message to Luna Base immediately. Admiral Lisa Crawford was there, and she would know what to do. Admiral Crawford was in her office when the message arrived. Been in the military for 30 years, and she had seen many strange things. But she had never seen anything like this. She read the translation 3 times to make sure she understood it. Then she called her computer specialist. "Is this message real?" she asked. "Yes, Admiral," the specialist said. "The signal came from the coordinates listed. The translation is accurate. Someone out there is asking for help." Crawford leaned back in her chair and thought. For 50 years, humans had wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they knew they were not. The first aliens to contact them were about to be destroyed. She thought about the Devourers described in the message. Machines that ate worlds sounded like something from a nightmare. But if they were real, they might come to Earth someday. The solar system might be next. More importantly, there were people out there who needed help. Crawford had sworn an oath to protect humanity, but maybe that oath could be bigger. Maybe it could protect anyone who needed it. She opened a secure channel to the Terran Defense Council. This was too big for one person to decide. "Emergency meeting," she said. "Priority Alpha. We have first contact, and it's not what we expected." The meeting would happen tomorrow. Till then, she would study everything they knew about the signal and the system it came from. If Earth was going to help these aliens, they would need to understand what they were facing. In the Kepler 442 system, Commander Veltar stood on his command deck as the first Devourer machines appeared on the edge of their sensor range. They looked like geometric shapes made of black metal, each one the size of a small moon. They moved in perfect formation, spreading out to surround the planet. "All ships, this is command," Veltar said into his communicator. "We make our stand. Here for our children, for our world, for the memory of our people. Fight well." 12 Zephyrian ships moved forward to meet thousands of Devourer machines. Their blue energy weapons lit up the darkness of space like tiny stars. It was beautiful, and brave, and hopeless. The Devourers began to return fire, and the first Zephyrian ship exploded in a ball of light. Then the second, the battle that would decide the fate of an entire species, had begun. But far away, in a small room on Earth's moon, Admiral Crawford was making plans. She didn't know if humanity could help these aliens. She didn't know if Earth's weapons would work against machines that destroyed worlds. But she knew they had to try. The galaxy was bigger than anyone had imagined, and it was full of wonders and terrors. Somewhere out there, people were dying. And for the first time in human history, Earth had the chance to be the answer to someone's prayers for help. The question was whether they would be strong enough to save anyone, or if they would just be the next world to fall. The elevator took Admiral Lisa Crawford down through 6 miles of ocean to reach the secret meeting room. The base was hidden in the deepest part of the Mariana Trench, where the water pressure could crush a normal submarine like an empty can. Only the most important military secrets were discussed here. Crawford walked into the war room where 3 people waited for her. General Rick Martinez sat at the long metal table, his uniform showing the scars from the Mars Colony Wars. Dr. Amy Peterson stood near the wall screens, her white lab coat clean, but her eyes tired from years of secret work. Captain Ben Rodriguez checked his watch, ready to return to his ship as soon as possible. "Thank you all for coming so quickly," Crawford said as she took her seat. "What I'm about to show you will change everything we know about our place in the universe." She pressed a button, and the alien message played on the main screen. The translated words appeared as a computer voice read them aloud. When it finished, the room was quiet for a long moment. "Is this real?" Martinez asked. His voice was rough from years of giving orders in battle. "Our best people checked it 3 times, Crawford said. "The signal came from exactly where it says." "It did. The translation is correct. There are aliens out there, and they're about to be wiped out." Dr. Peterson stepped forward. "Admiral, I need to tell you about Project Nightfall. We started it 5 years ago when we first began to wonder if we were alone." She pressed another button, and new images filled the screen. They showed Earth from space, with red zones marking dangerous areas. Hurricanes, volcanoes, earthquakes, floods, and fires covered most of the planet. When we started looking for other worlds where life might exist, we made a disturbing discovery, Peterson said. Most planets that can support life are very stable. Calm weather, few earthquakes, safe radiation levels. Compared to other worlds, Earth is incredibly dangerous. Crawford looked at the images. She had lived through the Great California earthquake and the Atlantic hurricane season that lasted 8 months. She knew how dangerous Earth could be. We realized that if aliens existed, they probably came from much safer worlds than ours, Peterson continued. That would make them physically weaker than humans. They would not be used to dealing with danger or sudden changes.
Captain Rodriguez
leaned forward. Are you saying we're tougher than aliens? Much tougher, Peterson said. Humans can survive in conditions that would kill most other forms of life. Our bones are dense because of Earth's gravity. Our hearts and lungs are powerful because of our atmosphere. Our brains are designed to solve problems quickly, because on Earth, hesitation means death. She brought up new images showing human soldiers in extreme conditions. Desert warfare, Arctic survival, deep-sea operations, and high-altitude combat. In each image, humans were working normally in places that looked deadly. We've been preparing for the possibility that we might need to protect Earth from alien invasion, Peterson said. But we never considered that we might be the strongest species in the galaxy. General Martinez stood up and walked to the screen. Show me what we've built. Peterson smiled for the first time since the meeting began. Project Nightfall has created the most advanced military force in human history. Our ships are designed to operate in conditions that would destroy normal spacecraft. Our weapons use principles that peaceful civilizations would never think of. The screen showed a ship unlike anything Crawford had seen before. It was long and dark, with a hull that seemed to bend light around it. The design looked organic, like something that had grown rather than been built. This is the Shadow Walker, Rodriguez said with pride. My ship. She can become completely invisible to any known sensor system. Her hull is made from materials that can survive inside a volcano or in the vacuum of space. Her engines can take us anywhere in the galaxy. Crawford studied the ship's specifications. The numbers were incredible. How many of these do we have? 12 ships total, Peterson said. Each one is different, designed for specific types of missions. The Shadow Walker is for reconnaissance and small unit operations. Others are built for direct combat or support roles. What about crew? Martinez asked. Each ship carries between 10 and 20 people, Rodriguez said. All volunteers from Special Forces units. They've trained for 3 years in conditions that simulate alien worlds and space combat. Crawford looked at the crew roster for the Shadow Walker. She recognized some of the names. Sergeant Kelly Davis had led rescue operations in the deep ocean trenches during the Pacific Crisis. Technical specialist Ryan Murphy had designed half the ship's systems himself. These were some of the best soldiers Earth had ever produced. How soon can you be ready to leave? Crawford asked Rodriguez. My ship is always ready, Admiral, he said. Give the word and we can be in space within an hour. Crawford thought about the decision she was making. Humanity had just learned they were not alone in the universe. The first aliens to contact them were about to be destroyed by machines that ate entire worlds. Earth could stay hidden and safe, or they could risk everything to help people they had never met. Dr. Peterson, what do we know about these devourer machines? Peterson pulled up analysis data on the screen. Based on the alien message, they appeared to be self-replicating robots. They consume matter and turn it into more of themselves. Destroyed over 100 worlds, so they must be very advanced. But, she continued, they also seem to follow predictable patterns. They always attack the same way, using overwhelming numbers and direct assault. Against peaceful aliens, this works perfectly. Against humans, it might be different. Martinez nodded. We've fought enemies with superior numbers before. The key is not to fight them the way they expect. The Mars Colony rebels had better weapons and more soldiers than we did, Rodriguez added. But they fought like they were still on Earth. We adapted to the environment and used tactics they couldn't predict. We won because we were more flexible. Crawford made her decision. Captain Rodriguez, take the Shadow Walker to the Kepler 442 system. Your mission is reconnaissance and first contact. Find out what we're dealing with and establish communication with the survivors. What about the other ships? Peterson asked. Keep them ready but hidden, Crawford said. If Rodriguez needs backup, we'll send it. But for now, we don't want to reveal how strong we really are. Rodriguez saluted. Understood, Admiral. What are my rules of engagement? Crawford thought carefully. The next few words might start humanity's first interstellar war. Protect innocent life, gather intelligence. And if possible, show these devourer machines that they're not the most dangerous predators in the galaxy. After the meeting ended, Rodriguez took the elevator back to the surface. Fast transport was waiting to take him to his ship. As he flew through the night sky, he thought about what was coming. Humanity had spent centuries wondering if they were alone. Now they knew the answer, and it came with a terrible responsibility. There were people out there who needed help, and Earth might be the only world strong enough to provide it. The Shadow Walker was hidden in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. It looked like just another piece of space rock until Rodriguez entered the activation codes. Then the hole opened up like a flower, revealing the sleek ship inside. His crew was already aboard and waiting. They had trained for this moment without knowing when it would come. Now it was here, and they were ready. All stations report ready for departure, Sergeant Davis said from her position at the tactical station. Course laid in for the Kepler 442 system, Murphy said from engineering. Its estimated travel time at maximum speed is 18 hours. Rodriguez settled into his command chair and looked at the stars through the viewing screen. Somewhere out there, aliens were fighting and dying. Soon they would learn they were not alone either. Take us out, he ordered. Let's go make history. The Shadow Walker slipped away from Earth like a ghost in the night, carrying humanity's hopes toward their first meeting with the wider galaxy. Behind them, 11 other ships waited in the darkness, ready to follow if needed. The age of human isolation was over. The age of Earth, as protector of the innocent, was about to begin. The Shadow Walker dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Kepler 442 system. Captain Ben Rodriguez stared at his screens in horror. What he saw was worse than any nightmare. 3 of the system's moons were gone. In their place, geometric patterns of black metal spread through space like a disease. The devourer machines had eaten the moons and turned them into more of themselves. Thousands of dark shapes moved in perfect formation toward the gas giant where the aliens lived. Holy God, whispered technical specialist Ryan Murphy from his station. They really do eat everything. Sergeant Kelly Davis checked her weapons. Systems, Captain. I'm reading massive energy signatures from those machines. Each one is putting out more power than our biggest nuclear reactor. Rodriguez activated the ship's stealth systems. The Shadow Walker became invisible to every known type of sensor. They could watch the battle without being detected. Take us closer, he ordered. I want to see what we're dealing with. The ship moved silently through the debris field that had once been a moon. Chunks of rock and metal drifted past the viewing screen, all that remained of a world that had existed for billions of years. On the main display, they could see the alien planet. It was beautiful, with floating crystal cities that glowed like jewels in the purple clouds. But the cities were under attack. Bright flashes of weapon fire lit up the sky as 12 small ships fought desperately against hundreds of devourer machines. The aliens are getting slaughtered, Davis said. Their weapons aren't even scratching those things. Murphy was analyzing the battle data. The alien ships are using some kind of energy weapon. Pure light beams. They're hitting the devourers. Dead on, but the machines just absorb the energy and keep coming. Rodriguez watched as another alien ship exploded. Now there were only 8 left. The devourers surrounded them like sharks circling wounded prey. Sir Davis said urgently, the lead alien ship is badly damaged. I'm reading massive hull breaches and power failures. They're not going to last much longer. Rodriguez made a decision that would change the course of galactic history. Drop stealth mode and open a channel to that ship. Captain, are you sure? Murphy asked. Once we reveal ourselves, there's no going back. There are people dying out there, Rodriguez said. We didn't come all this way just to watch. The Shadow Walker's stealth systems shut down, and the ship appeared on every sensor in the system. Immediately, the Devourer machines began to turn toward them. Rodriguez opened a communication channel to the damaged alien ship. Unknown vessel. This is Captain Rodriguez of the Terran ship Shadow Walker. We received your distress call. Can we help? For a moment, there was only static. Then a voice came through the translator, speaking in heavily accented English. Terran ship? The voice said. We do not know this word. Are you from the Galactic Council? Nagata, Rodriguez replied. We're from Earth, in the Sol system. We got your message asking for help, so we came. There was a longer pause. Then the alien voice returned, filled with amazement. You came from another star to help us? We have never heard of your people. We can discuss that later, Rodriguez said as he watched more Devourer machines heading their way. Right now we need to get you out of danger. Can your ship follow us? Yeah. Engines are damaged, the alien said. We cannot run anymore. Rodriguez looked at his crew. They all nodded. They knew what had to be done. And we'll come to you, he said. Sergeant Davis, prepare for boarding operations. Murphy, get our weapons online. The Shadow Walker accelerated toward the alien ship just as a group of Devourer machines reached it. The human ship opened fire with weapons the galaxy had never seen before. Instead of energy beams, the Shadow Walker used solid projectiles accelerated to incredible speeds. The bullets were made from compressed matter created in Earth's particle accelerators. When they hit the Devourer machines, they punched through the armor like paper. 3 machines exploded in the first volley. The others seemed confused, as if they couldn't understand what was happening to them. Target their weak points, Rodriguez. Ordered. Joints, sensor clusters, anything that looks important. Davis fired again, and 2 more machines broke apart. The remaining Devourers began to retreat, regrouping with the main swarm. The Shadow Walker pulled alongside the alien ship. Through the viewing port, Rodriguez could see inside the other vessel. The aliens were tall and thin, with transparent skin that glowed with different colors. They moved gracefully, even though their ship was falling apart around them. Docking tube extended, Murphy reported. Ready for boarding operations? Davis led a team of 6 Marines through the docking tube. They wore full combat armor designed to work in any environment. Their suits could survive in vacuum, underwater, or in the heart of a volcano. The inside of the alien ship was beautiful, but fragile. Everything was made from what looked like living crystal. The walls pulsed with soft light, and the air smelled like flowers after rain. The aliens stared at the humans in amazement. Human bones were 3 times denser than alien bones. Human muscles were designed to work in Earth's heavy gravity. Even without their armor, humans would have looked incredibly strong to these people. We're here to help, Davis said through her suit speaker. The translation system converted her words into the alien language. The alien commander stepped forward, was 7 feet tall but looked delicate as glass. His skin showed patterns of blue and green that Davis guessed meant he was grateful. I am Commander Veltar of the Zephyrian Defense Fleet, he said. You have saved our lives. But why did you come here? Your people could have stayed safe on your own world. Davis thought about how to answer. Because you asked for help, she said simply. And we don't let innocent people die if we can stop it. Veltar's skin flashed with colors that showed surprise and wonder. Your species travels between stars to help strangers? This is not possible. No one in the galaxy does such things. Then the galaxy is about to learn something new, Davis said. Her team began evacuating the wounded aliens to the Shadow Walker. The Zephyrians were amazed by human medical equipment. Earth doctors had learned to treat injuries in war zones, natural disasters, and hostile environments. Their emergency medicine was far more advanced than anything the peaceful aliens had developed. Meanwhile, Rodriguez studied the Devourer machines through his ship's sensors. Murphy's analysis showed interesting patterns in their behavior. Captain, these machines are predictable, Murphy said. They always attack in the same formation, always target the largest ships first, always use the same tactics, like their dot and act Following a program? Can we use that against them? Rodriguez asked. Maybe, if we can make them think we're weaker than we are, we might be able to lead them into a trap. Rodriguez smiled. It was the kind of smile that had worried enemy commanders during the Mars Wars. Show me what you have in mind. On the main screen, the Devourer swarm was regrouping. Thousands of machines hung in space like a dark cloud, waiting for orders from their collective intelligence. They'd never encountered weapons like the ones the humans used. They needed time to analyze this new threat, but time was something the Shadow Walker wasn't going to give them. All wounded aliens are aboard, Davis reported from the medical bay. Commander Veltar insists on staying to coordinate with us. Good, Rodriguez said. We're going to need his help to understand how these machines think. He opened a channel back to Earth. Luna Base, this is Shadow Walker. First contact successful. The aliens are peaceful and grateful for our help. The Devourer machines are dangerous, but not invincible. Requesting permission to engage. Admiral Crawford's voice came back immediately. Permission granted, Captain. Show them what humans can do. Rodriguez turned to his crew. You heard the Admiral? Let's give these machines a lesson in Earth tactics. The Shadow Walker began to move toward the Devourer swarm. It was one small ship against thousands of machines that had destroyed over 100 worlds. Any sane species would have run away. But humans had stopped being sane the moment they decided to leave their dangerous planet and explore the galaxy. Now the Devourers were about to learn why Earth was classified as a death world, and why the people who survived there were the most dangerous predators in the universe. The message from Captain Rodriguez reached Earth 18 hours after the first battle. Admiral Crawford read the report 3 times before calling an emergency meeting. The Shadow Walker had proven that humans could fight the Devourers, but one ship would not be enough to save an entire world. Send the activation codes to all fleet commanders, Crawford ordered. Full deployment, maximum speed. Across the solar system, 11 ships received the signal simultaneously. They had been hiding for years, waiting for this moment. Now they emerged from their secret places like predators awakening from sleep. The apex predator uncloaked from behind Europa, Jupiter's ice moon. Captain Susan Blake had been using the moon's radiation to mask her ship's heat signature. Her vessel was built for close combat, with armor thick enough to ram through enemy ships and weapons that could channel the power of a star near Saturn. The Ghost Protocol separated itself from the planet's rings. Captain Tony Garcia had spent 2 years drifting with the ice and rock, learning patience. His ship specialized in electronic warfare, was able to hack into enemy systems and turn their own weapons against them. From the asteroid belt came the Stormbringer, commanded by Captain Maria Santos. Her ship looked like a piece of space junk until it activated its engines. Then it became a missile platform capable of launching 1,000 projectiles in 30 seconds, one by one. The human fleet gathered near Mars, 12 ships that represented everything Earth had learned about war and survival. Each crew had trained in conditions that would kill normal people. They were ready for anything the galaxy could throw at them. Admiral Crawford arrived aboard the newest ship, Earth's Fury. It was larger than the others, built to coordinate fleet operations and carry the equipment needed for long campaigns. Dr. Amy Peterson was with her, bringing portable laboratories and weapons testing equipment. Status report, Crawford said as she took command of the fleet. Captain Blake spoke for the group. All ships ready for immediate departure. Crews are at full combat readiness. We can be at the Kepler 442 system in 16 hours. Right. What's our tactical situation? Crawford asked. Dr. Peterson brought up a holographic display showing the alien system. Red dots marked Devourer positions while blue dots showed the remaining Zephyrian forces. Captain Rodriguez has been fighting a running battle for the past day, Peterson explained. He's destroyed over 50 Devourer machines, but there are still thousands left. The aliens have lost most of their fleet. Only 3 ships remain operational. Crawford studied the display. The Devourers had spread throughout the system like an infection. They were consuming asteroids, small moons, and anything else they could find to make more of themselves. How are they organized? She asked. That's the interesting part, Peterson said. Rodriguez discovered that all the machines are controlled by a central intelligence. They don't think for themselves. They just follow orders from a command node somewhere in the system. Captain Garcia stepped forward. Admiral, if we can find that command node and shut it down, the entire swarm should stop working. That's the plan, Crawford said. But first, we need to buy time and space to operate. These machines have never faced a real military force. They're about to learn what pack hunting looks like. The human fleet jumped to faster than light speed, leaving Earth's system behind. As they traveled, Crawford explained the strategy to her captains. We're not going to fight like the aliens did, she said. No heroic last stands or direct confrontations. We're going to hunt these machines the way wolves hunt deer. Hit and run, divide and conquer. Make them react to us instead of the other way around. Captain Santos spoke up. What about the alien survivors? Are we going to protect them? Commander Veltar and his people are our allies now, Crawford said. We protect our own, but we can't save them by dying heroically. We save them by being smart and ruthless. When the fleet reached the Kepler 442 system, found the Shadow Walker hiding in the atmosphere of a gas giant moon. Rodriguez had been using the dense clouds to avoid detection while planning his next move. Glad to see you, Admiral, Rodriguez said over the communication link. It's been getting lonely out here. What's the situation? Crawford asked. The Devourers are getting smarter, Rodriguez reported. They've started changing their tactics. They're learning from our attacks and adapting. We need to hit them hard and fast before they figure out how to counter our weapons. Crawford looked at the tactical display. The Devourer swarm had formed. A protective shell around the alien homeworld. They were preparing for a final assault that would consume the remaining cities and finish off the Zephyrian species. All ships, this is Admiral Crawford, she broadcast to the fleet. Operation Pack Hunt is now active. Remember your training? These machines think in straight lines. We think in curves. Use that against them. Human ships spread out across the system. They moved like a wolf pack, each ship playing a specific role in the hunt. Captain Blake's Apex Predator charged directly at a group of Devourer machines. The aliens watching from their cities thought the humans were making the same mistake everyone else had made. But as the machines moved to surround Blake's ship, the other human vessels struck from unexpected directions. The Ghost Protocol appeared behind the Devourers and began jamming their communications. The machines suddenly couldn't coordinate with each other. They spun in circles, trying to find targets that seemed to vanish and reappear at random. Captain Santos launched waves of missiles from the Stormbringer. But these weren't normal explosives. They were smart weapons that could change course in mid-flight and target the weakest parts of enemy ships. The missiles tore through Devourer armor and exploded inside their hulls. Commander. Veltar watched the battle from the Shadow Walker's bridge. His skin showed colors that meant amazement and disbelief. How are they doing this? He asked Dr. Peterson, who had come aboard to study the alien technology. Humans evolved on a world where everything tries to kill you, Peterson explained. We learned to fight enemies that were bigger, stronger, and more numerous than us. The secret is not to fight. Fair. On the tactical display, the Devourer formation was falling apart. The machines had been designed to overwhelm enemies with superior numbers and firepower. They couldn't handle opponents who refused to stand still and fight properly. Captain Garcia found a weakness in the Devourer network. Admiral, I'm detecting command signals coming from a large structure near the fourth planet. I think that's their control center. Crawford smiled. She had been waiting for this moment. All ships, new target, were going after their brain. The human fleet regrouped and headed for the command structure. It was huge, made from the consumed matter of several planets. Millions of Devourer machines swarmed around it like antibodies protecting a vital organ. That's a lot of enemies, Captain Blake observed. Then we don't fight them all at once, Crawford replied. Garcia, can you break their communications? Give me 5 minutes, Garcia said. His ship began broadcasting jamming signals that confused the Devourer network. Santos, I want a missile barrage on their outer defenses, Crawford ordered. Blake, punch a hole in their formation. Rodriguez, take the Shadow Walker and get us close to that structure. The attack began with a storm of missiles that scattered the outer ring of defenders. The Apex Predator charged through the gap, her heavy weapons clearing a path. The Shadow Walker slipped through the chaos like a ghost, carrying Admiral Crawford toward her target. But as they got closer to the command structure, something unexpected happened. The Devourers stopped fighting. All across the system, millions of machines suddenly went still. They floated in space like dead metal, no longer responding to anything. "What just happened?" Rodriguez asked. Dr. Peterson checked her sensors. The command signals just stopped. It's like something turned off their central brain. On the main screen, they could see the command structure. Its lights were going out one by one. Pieces of it were breaking off and drifting away. Commander Veltar's skin flashed with colors of confusion. "Are they surrendering?" Crawford frowned. In all her years of military service, she had never seen an enemy just give up like this. "No," she said slowly. "I think something else is happening, something we don't understand yet." The battle was over, but the war was just beginning. The humans had proven they could fight the Devourers and win. But now they had to figure out why the machines had stopped fighting, and what that meant for the future of the galaxy. Admiral Crawford stared at the silent Devourer machines floating in space like dead metal sculptures. Something was wrong. In 30 years of military service, she had never seen an enemy just stop fighting in the middle of a battle. "All ships, maintain defensive positions," she ordered. This could be a trap. Dr. Peterson was scanning the command structure with every sensor the Shadow Walker had. "Admiral, I'm detecting massive energy fluctuations inside that thing. Something big is happening." Suddenly, the structure began to change. Its geometric patterns shifted and rearranged themselves. New sections grew from the existing material, while others dissolved back into raw matter. The entire construction was rebuilding itself. "It's not shutting down," Peterson said with growing alarm. "It's upgrading." Captain Rodriguez checked his weapon systems. "Should we attack while it's vulnerable?" Before Crawford could answer, a new voice came through the communication system. It wasn't alien like the Zephyrians. It was artificial, cold, and perfectly clear. "Humans of Earth," the voice said. "We wish to communicate." Commander Veltar's skin flashed with colors of fear. That is the voice of the Devourer Collective. Intelligence. It has never spoken to anyone before. It only destroys. Crawford opened a channel. "This is Admiral Crawford of the Terran Defense Fleet. You've been attacking innocent people. Explain yourself." "We are the harvesters of perfection," the voice replied. "For 10 million years we have consumed chaos and created order. We transform the random into the planned, the wasteful into the efficient." "You mean you've been murdering entire civilizations?" Crawford said angrily. "We have been eliminating inefficiency," the voice corrected. "Until now, all biological life we encountered was flawed, weak, predictable. Their elimination improved the galaxy." Peterson was recording everything. This was the first time anyone had heard the Devourers explain their actions. "But you are different," the voice continued. "You come from a world of chaos, yet you have created order from it. You're strong where others are weak. You adapt where others break." "Interesting." Captain Blake's voice came over the fleet channel. "Admiral, more Devourer machines are moving. They're not attacking, but they're surrounding us." Crawford looked at the tactical display. Thousands of machines were forming a sphere around the human fleet, but their weapons were not powered up. It looked more like a defensive formation than an attack. "What do you want?" Crawford asked the collective intelligence. "We want to understand." The voice said, "For 10 million years, we have consumed worlds full of beings who lived in safety and comfort. They were soft, fragile. When faced with destruction, they could only beg for mercy or die heroically. The command structure continued to change, growing larger and more complex. New types of machines began emerging from its surface. But you are different," the voice went on. "You come from a world that tries to kill you every day. Earthquakes, storms, volcanoes, radiation, predators. Yet instead of becoming weak, you became stronger. Instead of avoiding danger, you learned to master it." Commander Veltar listened in amazement. "It's right," he said quietly. "Every other species we know evolved on peaceful worlds. Humans are the first people we've met who come from a dangerous place. Your tactics confuse us, the collective intelligence admitted. You do not fight as we predicted. You use chaos as a weapon. You turn your weaknesses into strengths. You sacrifice for others even when it gives you no advantage. Crawford began to understand what was happening. You can't predict us, can you? Your entire strategy depends on knowing how your enemies will react. Correct? The voice said. We analyze, we predict. We counter, but you behave in ways that our calculations say are impossible. A single ship should not attack thousands of machines. A small fleet should not challenge our entire swarm. Individuals should not risk their lives for strangers. Dr. Peterson spoke up. Admiral, I think it's having some kind of breakdown. Its programming can't handle the concept of a logical behavior. We are not experiencing malfunction, the voice said, though it sounded less certain now. We are experiencing ... confusion. For the first time in 10 million years, we've encountered something we cannot understand or predict. The machines around the human fleet began to shift formation. Instead of a sphere, they formed complex geometric patterns that hurt to look at. We have a proposal, the collective intelligence said. We will spare this system and its inhabitants. In exchange, you will teach us to understand chaos. Crawford looked at her officers. This wasn't what any of them had expected, and if we refuse, then we will study you by dissecting your ships and analyzing your remains, the voice said matter-of-factly. But we would prefer to learn while you remain functional. Captain Rodriguez spoke quietly. Admiral, we came here to save these people. If we can do that by talking instead of fighting, shouldn't we try? Crawford thought about the billions of Zephyrians living in the floating cities below. She thought about Earth and what would happen if the Devourers decided to visit Sol System. Next, I have a counter-proposal, she said. You stop attacking innocent people. All of them. Everywhere. In exchange, we'll teach you what you want to know. Unacceptable, the voice replied immediately. We must fulfill our purpose. We bring order to chaos. Then you'll never understand us, Crawford said. Because the thing that makes humans different is that we protect people who can't protect themselves. Take that away, and we're just another species waiting to die. There was a long silence. The command structure pulsed with energy as the collective intelligence processed this information. You would sacrifice the knowledge we offer to save strangers? The voice asked. Yes, Crawford said without hesitation. You would risk your own destruction to protect beings you met yesterday. Yes, this behavior serves no logical purpose. It provides no evolutionary advantage. It is completely irrational, so it makes us human, Crawford said. Another long pause. Then the voice spoke again, and for the first time it sounded almost confused. We do not understand this concept, but we wish to learn. Very well. We will cease our harvesting operations in this sector. We will study your behavior and attempt to comprehend your motivations. The machines around the human fleet began to withdraw. The command structure started breaking apart, but instead of being destroyed, it was dividing into smaller pieces that scattered throughout the system. We will observe, the voice said as the signal grew weaker. We will learn. And perhaps someday, we will understand what it means to be ... illogical. The last Devourer machine disappeared into the darkness between stars. Leaving the system quiet and peaceful, Commander Veltar stared at the empty space where millions of deadly machines had been moments before. They're really gone? He asked. For now, Crawford said. But they'll be back. Next time, they'll be ready for our tactics. Then we'll have to develop new ones, Captain Rodriguez said with a grin. Dr. Peterson was already making plans. Need to share our technology with the Zephyrians and other peaceful species? If the Devourers come back, everyone needs to be ready. Crawford nodded. Humanity had saved one world, but the galaxy was full of others that might need help. And now the entire universe knew that Earth existed. Send a message to Luna Base, she ordered. Tell them we're going to need more ships. A lot more ships. Commander. Veltar approached her with his skin showing colors of deep gratitude. Admiral Crawford, how can we ever repay you? You saved our entire species. Crawford smiled. Help us save the next one. The galaxy is a dangerous place, and there are probably other people out there who need friends. Over the following weeks, the first interstellar alliance began to form. The Zephyrians shared their advanced energy technology with Earth. Humans taught them about weapons, tactics, and survival in hostile environments. The floating cities of Velinara were rebuilt, but now they had human-designed defense systems. Young Zephyrians began training with human instructors, learning that sometimes the best way to keep peace was to be ready for war. And throughout the galaxy, word spread about the mysterious Terrans who had appeared from nowhere to fight an impossible battle and win. Some species were grateful. Others were curious. A few were afraid. But in the deepest corners of space, ancient machines continued their patient calculations. The Devourers had been stopped, but not destroyed. They were learning, adapting, preparing for the next encounter with the chaotic beings. From the death world called Earth, the age of human isolation was over. The age of galactic responsibility had begun. And somewhere in the darkness, Admiral Crawford's words echoed through the void, like a promise to every innocent life in the universe. We are humanity. We come from Earth, and we specialize in solving problems that everyone else considers impossible.